This is a Russian beef pierogi filling. There are many variations on such fillings, but this one is very rich in flavor as well as being economical, both of which are of paramount importance for a restaurant. There is some obvious similarity in technique to making Italian ossobuco, but the flavor is totally different. One of the little-known secrets to the characteristic flavor of a really great beef pierogi is using shin beef, which is from below the knee of the cow. This is a tough cut, so it has to be cooked a long time, but it's packed with flavor. 60 grams of shallots, about 90 to 100 grams of mushrooms, 90 to 100 grams of carrots, all coarsely chopped. Over here, I'm adding the whole coriander seeds, the dried bay leaf, and the black peppercorns. And this is going to get ground up. Once it's ground up, we add the spices to the passata. 60 grams of the passata. Give this a little stir and let this stand off to the side for now. And here we have the shin beef. As you can see, it's the lower part of the leg of the cow. I'm going to put a little coarse salt on it, and we're going to brown this well in oil in just a minute here. It's about 600 grams a piece, but there's a lot of bone in there, as you can see. We'll begin browning this. About 3 minutes later, and after a couple more minutes, begin doing the sides, get some color on those too. And when you're satisfied with that, transfer this to the braising dish. A little more vegetable oil, it's running dry. And then all these vegetables, mushrooms, carrots, and shallots goes in. Same heat, number 8, out of 1 to 10, number 8, high heat. After about 3 minutes, you get some good color on those mushrooms. Now I'm going to add the passata that has the spices mixed in with it. And cook this for about another minute and a half or so. Okay, by now you should have quite a bit of fond on the bottom of the pan, as you can see. I'm going to turn the heat off completely now, and I'm going to add cognac, brandy. I'm using this Spanish one. Normally I would use an Armenian or Moldavian one, but this is what I've got on hand, and it works just fine. Remember, the heat's off now. Using this to scrape up the fond from the bottom. Now I'm going to add in, I've got a little handful of dill here and 4 garlic cloves whole. I'm not even going to cut those up because it's going to cook for a long time. Those are going to break down with time. So this is it for this. Now we turn our attention back to the braising dish. Here's the piece of shin beef in the braising dish. I'm just going to put this contents of this pan over the top like this. And that's it. And it goes into the oven. After 4 hours, open it up and verify that the meat really is falling off the bone, completely tender. This is the key. If it isn't, then it needs to go back. The next step is to scrape the marrow out of the bone. have some charbroiled steak with extra fat on it, this is a great thing to add to this. It's not necessary though. After it's cooled a little bit, you add it to the food processor and grind it up. You can grind it very fine to a paste or leave chunks, however you prefer. Closer to a paste will be easier to work with later. Now it needs to be refrigerated before you actually use it. See part 1 for how to make the dough and cook the pierogi. The second volume of my cookbook is now available through Amazon and other booksellers. It covers the YouTube recipes from the last 8 months with more in-depth information. I received requests for the procedures on all recipes, and I've listened to you. Every recipe has step-by-step directions, and of course there are recipes that aren't on YouTube. But this is not just a recipe book. Far from it, as you can see from some of the topics scrolling by here. I'm certain that anyone who watches my channel and any serious cook will find this book a treasury of useful and new information you won't find anywhere else. If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.